Birx in this interview talked about the politics of the White House, and let's see if we buy it.
Is your sentiment right now? Are you upset? Are you frustrated? Sad?
I'm encouraged. I'm encouraged that there's a team in the White House. It was very difficult being just one person in the White House. And I think people really didn't understand. I was the coordinator of the response. I wasn't the originator of all of the responses. HIV was what we call a symptom.
In March, when Dr. Birx was recalled from her post as global AIDS ambassador to join the task force, she had little experience working inside a White House and quickly realized that the role of the doctors was not going to be at all what she expected.
Thank you, Mr. Vice President. Good evening. I underestimated the White House and the politics, but throughout these 11 months, Dr. Fauci and I probably talked or texted 5 out of 7 days every week.
So, sure, yeah, I guess. I don't know. That whole thing though, Francesca, didn't it feel a bit like a PR rep for Birx would have put together this with CNN? Obviously that's not what happened, but it reads like that. It reads like wanting to protect her, defend her, remake her image after the fact.
Yeah, absolutely. But look, mainstream outlets love that. Oh my God, Birx is gonna write a book. You wanna write a book? Were you part of the administration? Did you like it? Did you hate it? How did you feel? Like, we are going to make a star out of you. Can you dance? Like, this is what mainstream news does. It's not about
sing with a mask on.
Yes, exactly. Sure, just put the scarf over the face, and sing for your penance. Like this is what we do. We resuscitate people. I mean, interestingly, the only group of people we haven't fully resuscitated, although Jenna Bush is on NBC, is the Bush administration.
Although I would say, I don't know, all the stuff about him painting pictures of dogs and stuff, that kind of felt like a bit of a resuscitation of George Bush. I don't know. I'm not saying that like long-term he's super acceptable, but I bet people's opinions of him have changed quite a bit. Anyway, we're gonna get Francesca back. I did want to continue though, because while we're still very skeptical, Dr. Birx does have a defender that generally people trust a little bit more in this area. So here is Dr. Fauci being asked about his working relationship with Deborah Birx.
You were working together. Did you have a strategy to do this? A good cop, bad cop?
I was the bad cop. She was the good cop. They referred to me, as I often say, as the skunk at the picnic. Because whenever they would say things were great, I would say, I don't really think so.
Should Americans be prepared for the likelihood that there will be 100,000 Americans who die from this virus?
The answer is yes. It was easy for me to say that out loud and just openly say that because I had my base. My base was the NIH. But Deb had a much more difficult situation. She had an office right there in the West Wing. So I'm very, very reluctant to condemn anything that, even though there are people who feel that she should have pushed more, she probably should have. But boy, she did a lot of good. She knocked herself out, getting up at 3 o'clock in the morning, putting that data together, presenting it every day.
So I'm still, after the experience of last year, it's gonna be very difficult for me to really fundamentally change my view of her. I do, look, I'm not, the Fauci sexual or whatever terminology they might use. I'm not like obsessive in my praise of people like this, but I do trust him more. And the fact that he's been willing to say things that potentially could get him in trouble in terms of his career is noteworthy and also more than we were seeing from Deborah Birx at the time. So look, his opinion does count for something, and him saying that she was working a lot counts for something. I don't know, it doesn't seem like the work ideally should have influenced Trump and his policy. Now, maybe that's an impossible task. Maybe there was nothing that could, roll that boulder up the hill, I guess. But the fact that like she put together the information and then be presented to the American people, sure, that's good. But is that what people remember those press conferences for? When they were so often taken over by Donald Trump for his insanity, to talk about hydroxychloroquine and things like that. I don't know. I guess maybe there wasn't much she could do in that area, but I guess it counts for something. I just don't know how much.
Check out the Damage Report podcast each day, wherever you get your podcasts, whether Pocket Casts or Stitcher or iTunes. You can join me as I give you the news and stories you want, with a range of co-hosts and interview guests jumping in on the fun each day. Again, that's the Damage Report, wherever you get your podcasts. And if you get them at iTunes, don't forget to rate and review. Sometimes I'll read them live on the show.